Today's tech news moves fast, but understanding it shouldn't be hard. That's why Snarful Solutions Group brings you Connecting the Dots, where we break down what's happening in tech and why it matters to you. Now, let's dive in with your hosts.
Good morning and welcome to Connecting the Dots. I'm Alex.
And I'm Morgan.
We are broadcasting live from the Snarful Solutions Group studios right here in Sacramento, California.
That's right. And it is Wednesday, March 11th, 2026.
Looking at the studio window this morning, we are being treated to just a truly gorgeous start to the day.
Yeah, we really are.
We're looking at perfectly sunny skies and a high of 76 degrees today here in the capital.
It's the kind of morning that makes you very glad to be on the West Coast, especially when you take a look at the national radar.
Oh, for sure.
If you're tuning in from the lower Mississippi Valley, up through the Ohio Valley, or anywhere along the Mid-Atlantic and into New York, please keep a close eye on your local alerts today.
Yeah, that system looks rough.
It really does. We are tracking a major widespread system of severe thunderstorms stretching across that entire corridor.
And that's expected to produce excessive rain, right?
Exactly. It poses a highly significant flooding threat throughout the afternoon.
Definitely stay safe if you're out there.
And also for our listeners out in Hawaii, that powerful Kona storm remains highly active.
Bringing intense, heavy rain and severe winds.
Right. And that will continue to impact the islands through the weekend. So stay safe out there.
Always good advice to keep those weather notifications turned on.
Absolutely.
But shifting gears to the financial side of things, let's give you a quick snapshot of the markets to start your day.
Always a good idea.
So yesterday, the Dow closed just slightly down at 47,632.41.
Right.
The S&P 500 essentially held its ground, closing totally flat at 6,791.09.
Not much movement there.
No, but if you are holding cryptocurrency in your portfolio, it was a very solid Tuesday.
Oh, definitely.
Bitcoin jumped up over $550 to close out the session at 70,512.55.
Always a pleasant surprise to see a little bit of green on the screen for the digital assets to get the morning going.
Speaking of getting the morning going, today we have an incredible lineup.
You really do.
We are looking at a massive stack of tech industry reports, financial filings, and hardware specs to uncover the invisible web connecting everything you do online.
It's all connected.
Our mission today is to figure out how these massive corporate moves actually change your day-to-day digital life.
From the processors running your computer to the cloud storing your data.
All the way to how you discover music on your social feeds.
It is a phenomenal lineup that really highlights how fast the landscape is shifting in 2026.
Oh, it's moving at lightning speed.
But before we get into the heavy tech analysis, we need to talk about fuel.
Yes, we do.
Today's show is brought to you by Strong Coffee.
If you are looking to upgrade your daily routine, this is the very first change you need to make.
Seriously.
Strong Coffee is a premium instant coffee that tastes identical to a fresh, traditional, slow drip brew, but it is doing so much more for your body behind the scenes.
It's packed with 15 grams of protein, MCTs, and adaptogens like ashwagandha.
Which means you get that incredibly clean, sustained energy to power through a 3-hour morning meeting or your toughest workout.
You get all the focus completely without the jitters.
And you skip that dreaded 2 o'clock midday crash entirely.
It is functional fuel designed for high performers.
You can experience the difference for yourself by heading over to strongcoffeecompany.com.
And be sure to use the promo code SNARFL for 20% off your entire purchase.
That is strongcoffeecompany.com, promo code SNARFL. Let's jump into our first story.
From today's Morning Star, the Snarful Tech article report.
And this first item is an absolute monster of a deal.
It really is.
Google has officially closed its acquisition of the Israeli cybersecurity firm Wiz for $32 billion in cash.
$32 billion. Just to put that into perspective, this is officially the largest acquisition in Google's entire history as a company.
That is wild to think about.
It is. The deal has been navigating a very complex regulatory landscape for quite a while, ultimately clearing both U.S. and European Union antitrust probes in late 2025 and early 2026.
We're just impartially reporting the facts here, but clearing that antitrust hurdle is a huge milestone for them.
Definitely. But the timeline of how we actually arrived at this finish line is a masterclass in startup confidence.
But wait, isn't $32 billion a massive overpay for a startup?
You would think so?
Why didn't Google just build this tech themselves with their own army of engineers?
That is the multi-billion-dollar question. To answer it, we have to look back at 2024.
Okay, what happened then?
Google actually approached Wiz with a $23 billion offer to buy them out.
$23 billion.
And Wiz CEO, Asaf Rappaport, just walked away from the table.
No way.
He turned down $23 billion because he firmly believed his company was on a trajectory to grow much bigger.
That takes some serious nerve.
And it turns out gambling on his team was the smartest move he could have made. By 2025, Wiz crossed the $1 billion mark in annual recurring revenue.
Wow.
That kind of meteoric growth forced Google to come back, swallow their pride, and add an extra $9 billion to get the deal done.
Because building it internally would have taken years.
Exactly. And in the cybersecurity space, Google simply didn't have the time to wait.
So what exactly is Google buying here? What makes Wiz worth that staggering price tag?
Think about it this way. Imagine you want to buy the world's absolute most advanced, impenetrable home security system for your house.
Okay.
But Google didn't just buy this system to protect their own properties. They bought the company that is actively securing the Amazon and Microsoft houses right down the street, too.
Oh, that is clever.
Wiz is going to join Google Cloud, but they are keeping their own brand and their identity as a multi-cloud security platform.
So they're essentially becoming the security landlord for their own biggest rivals.
Precisely. In the modern enterprise world, large businesses almost never put all their eggs in one basket.
Right, you diversify.
A massive global corporation might use Google Cloud for their daily applications, Amazon Web Services for their deep data storage, and Microsoft Azure or Oracle for their back-end databases.
Makes sense.
Wiz acts as a unified, overarching security blanket across all of those rival platforms. Google now owns the technology that protects data, even when it resides on AWS or Azure.
Which is a brilliant strategic maneuver. It positions Google as indispensable to the entire internet ecosystem.
Totally.
But bringing this back down to earth, why does this matter to the everyday listener?
That's the key.
If I'm not a corporate IT director, why should I care about a massive cloud security acquisition?
Because the data being secured is yours.
Right.
Every single time you log in to bank online, book a family flight, or access your sensitive medical records through a patient portal, that critical data lives in these massive cloud environments.
It's all up there.
And the threat landscape is evolving terrifyingly fast right now, largely driven by the explosion of artificial intelligence. We are seeing the rise of a phenomenon the industry is calling vibe coding.
I've seen that term floating around developer forums.
Yeah.
Can you unpack what vibe coding actually looks like in practice?
Sure. Imagine a software developer who needs to build a new login portal. Instead of meticulously writing thousands of lines of code by hand over several weeks, they use an AI coding assistant.
Oh, they just prompt it.
They essentially just give the AI the vibe or the general prompt. They type something like, build me a secure login page that connects to our user database and make it look modern.
And the AI spits out the complete code in seconds.
Exactly. The problem is, because human engineers aren't checking every single line of that machine-generated code for structural flaws, it is introducing a massive wave of microscopic security vulnerabilities.
So we have developers moving at lightning speed, inadvertently leaving the back door unlocked.
Yes. And you combine that with attackers who are also using AI.
Double-edged sword.
Bad actors are using sophisticated, prompt-based AI attacks to scan the internet at unprecedented speeds, looking for those exact machine-generated vulnerabilities.
The manual security models just completely break down against that.
Attackers use AI to find the weak spots, and Wiz uses AI at every single layer to detect and investigate those threats before they can be exploited.
It's essentially an arms race. Machine versus machine.
Precisely.
Google realizes that the only way to secure the future of cloud computing is to own the ultimate AI defense mechanism. They are spending $32 billion for an insurance policy on the future of the internet.
And it creates a fascinating ripple effect for their business model.
How so?
If an enterprise client knows Google holds the keys to the best cross-platform security on the market, it makes adopting other Google Cloud products that much more appealing.
That is a strategic masterstroke that fundamentally shifts the balance of power in tech infrastructure.
It really is.
Well, from the invisible massive infrastructure of the cloud, let's bring it down to the physical hardware sitting right on your desk.
Let's do it.
Because our second story is all about raw computing power, and Intel is coming out swinging.
We really are.
On March 26th, they are dropping two brand new, surprisingly budget-friendly processors, the Core Ultra 7 270K Plus and the Core Ultra 5 250K Plus.
And they are pricing these incredibly aggressively at $300 and $200, respectively.
The marketing around this launch is not subtle. Intel is actively calling these their fastest gaming desktop processors ever.
Which is a very bold claim when you consider they are pricing them squarely in the budget tier.
Very bold. Let's look at the actual specifications here because they are staggering for this price point.
Yeah, walk us through them.
The $300 270K Plus boasts 24 cores and a 5.5 gigahertz turbo boost.
That's massive.
In multi-threaded productivity tasks, meaning tasks that require the computer to juggle many heavy processes at once, Intel claims it absolutely crushes AMD's Ryzen 700 and 700X, operating up to 88% faster.
88% faster for $300.
And the $200 model, the 250K Plus, packs a serious punch as well.
It really does.
It features 18 cores and is boasting 103% improvement in multi-core performance over AMD's similarly priced 9600X.
To put that in perspective, Intel is essentially handing you the keys to a high-performance sports car engine, but charging you the price of a standard commuter car replacement part.
That's exactly it. It represents a massive paradigm shift for consumer hardware.
But to really appreciate it, you have to understand the historical context.
Right, they've been struggling.
Over the last 4 years, Intel has been in a tough spot. Their 2022 and 2023 Raptor Lake chips were notorious in the PC building community for running incredibly hot and drawing massive amounts of power.
I remember that era well. My old rig sounded like a 747 jet taking off just from opening a heavy Excel spreadsheet.
It was loud.
The thermal throttling was a nightmare.
A lot of users experience exactly that.
Yeah.
And then their 2024 Arrow Lake flagship chips launched with pretty lackluster gaming performance compared to AMD's highly dominant Ryzen lineup.
AMD really took the crown there.
They did. Intel has been desperately trying to wrestle the performance crown back.
But instead of just fighting at the $600 or $700 luxury enthusiast tier, they are starting a vicious price war right in the sweet spot of the consumer market.
And there's a fascinating software component to this hardware launch.
The binary optimization tool.
Yes. When I first read that, my eyes sort of glazed over.
Can we clarify how this actually works without getting bogged down in the engineering manual?
Let's strip away the corporate phrasing. The binary optimization tool is essentially a highly advanced live translator.
Okay, a live translator.
Often, a video game is coded in a way that doesn't perfectly align with how a specific processor wants to read data.
So there's a disconnect.
Right. This tool takes the game's code and rewrites it on the fly, translating it so the new Intel processor can read and execute the instructions much faster and more efficiently.
That's wild.
Intel showed a presentation slide where this translator tool delivered a massive 39% performance jump in the game Shadow of the Tomb Raider, just by optimizing the communication between the software and the hardware.
That synergy is incredible. And for the PC builders listening, it's worth noting that both of these new chips will maintain compatibility with the 800 series motherboards currently on the market.
That's a huge relief for upgraders.
Intel also mentioned early support for new 4-rank QDIMM memory modules later in 2026.
Basically, that means these systems are built to handle the massively dense, high-capacity memory sticks coming out later this year without requiring you to buy a whole new motherboard.
But taking a step back, why does this matter if you aren't a hardcore PC gamer chasing high frame rates?
That's the real question.
What if you're just a professional setting up a home office or a parent building a reliable computer for your family?
For the everyday user, this means elite, top-tier computing power has been democratized.
It is no longer gatekept behind a luxury price tag.
Exactly. Having 24 cores in a $300 processor means your computer can handle intense, chaotic multitasking without breaking a sweat.
You can be running a massive financial model, rendering a high-definition video in the background, have 40 browser tabs open, and be actively hosting a video call, and the machine simply won't stutter.
It's a huge win for the consumer.
If you've been putting off upgrading your family desktop or your daily work-from-home rig because of the cost, March 26th might be the exact day the math finally works out in your favor.
Definitely mark your calendars.
So we have the ultra-secure cloud infrastructure, and we have the raw, affordable hardware horsepower on our desks.
What are we actually spending our time doing on these machines?
A huge chunk of it is spent scrolling and experiencing culture.
You know it.
Which brings us to a massive shift in the music landscape. TikTok has officially partnered with Apple Music to let subscribers play full songs directly inside the TikTok app.
This is a phenomenal development in the ongoing war for our digital attention.
Historically, TikTok has been the absolute greatest music discovery engine of the modern era.
We've seen it time and time again. An old Fleetwood Mac song from the 70s or a completely unknown indie track goes viral in a trending video, and suddenly it is rocketing to the very top of the Billboard charts.
But there was always a major glaring disconnect in the user experience.
There really was.
So if I see a video with a catchy song on TikTok right now, it's actually a pretty clunky experience to go listen to the rest of it, right?
It is completely disjointed. Think about the friction involved.
You hear 15 seconds of this incredibly catchy earworm.
In the past, you had to try to memorize the lyrics or the artist's name, physically close the TikTok app, open up your separate music player, type the name into the search bar, find the correct track, and hit play.
It entirely breaks your scrolling flow and takes you out of the platform.
Tech companies view that kind of friction as the ultimate enemy of engagement.
So how does this new integration fix that broken flow?
If you are an Apple Music subscriber, you will now see a new Play Full Song button right on your For You page or on the dedicated sound detail page of the video.
Right there on the screen.
When you tap it, the track plays in its entirety via Apple's Music Kit integration without ever forcing you to leave TikTok.
The brilliant part from an industry perspective is that because it plays through Apple's infrastructure, those full-length streams still officially count towards the charts, and they still pay out royalties directly to the artists on Apple Music.
It takes a solitary, fragmented scrolling session and turns it into a totally seamless listening experience.
And they are pushing the social aspect even further by launching a listening party feature alongside this.
That sounds fun.
It is. This allows fans to listen communally to songs from a specific artist and chat with each other in real time.
It's like turning a viral video moment into a shared digital concert experience.
You aren't just listening alone in your room. You're experiencing the music with a community of fans exactly where you first discovered it.
If we look at the broader corporate history here, this partnership is actually a strategic retreat and a powerful new alliance for ByteDance, TikTok's parent company.
People might forget that TikTok previously tried to launch its own standalone streaming service.
Right, called TikTok Music. They tried to compete head-to-head with Spotify and Apple Music.
But building a global streaming platform from scratch is incredibly difficult.
It is, and it never caught on the way they hoped. They officially shut TikTok Music down just a few months ago, in November of 2024.
I see the strategy. Instead of trying to own the entire pipeline from the initial discovery all the way to the streaming subscription, they decided to swallow their pride and partner with a giant who already has the infrastructure.
Precisely. And there is a very powerful data component to this alliance.
What's that?
TikTok recently launched a TikTok for Artists Music Insights platform.
Oh, that's smart.
So not only are musicians getting the direct royalty payouts from Apple Music, but their management teams are getting granular, highly detailed data on exactly how their music is performing across the platform.
They can use that data to better inform their touring schedules and promotional strategies.
Exactly.
And I can't help but notice who is completely absent from this massive digital party Spotify.
Yeah, that's a big omission.
Rival Spotify does not have this full song in-app playback capability integrated into TikTok.
If you are a loyal Spotify user, you still have to deal with that annoying friction of leaving the app to hear the full track.
When consumers are looking at their monthly subscription bills and deciding which services to keep paying for, this seamless integration could be a massive value add for Apple Music.
It fundamentally rewrites the economics of music discovery.
By completely removing the barrier between hearing a 15-second snippet and streaming the full track, they are capturing the listener's intent at the exact moment of peak emotional interest.
For artists, this means those fleeting viral moments will translate much more efficiently into sustained, long-term engagement and actual streaming revenue.
It is incredibly smart design and honestly a huge quality of life upgrade for anyone who loves finding new artists.
Absolutely.
Before we wrap up, here's one more thing to know.
If you are looking for the absolute best gear to represent your favorite bands, artists, or hometown sports teams, you have to check out Old Glory.
Old Glory is an iconic music and sports fan merch store.
They have an absolutely unbelievable selection of officially licensed apparel and accessories.
It is honestly the perfect place to find unique, high-quality gifts for your techie friends who also have a deep love for classic rock, modern pop, or Sunday football.
It really is. I can spend hours just browsing their catalog online. The variety is unmatched.
And we have a great deal for you today. If you go to oldglory.com and use the promo code SNARFL at checkout, you will get 15% off your entire purchase.
Again, that is oldglory.com, promo code SNARFL for 15% off.
Looking back at the three major stories we covered today, you can really see the massive shifts happening across the tech landscape and how they directly impact us.
First, we saw Google spending a historic $32 billion to acquire Wiz.
It is a loud, clear signal that securing our AI-driven, multi-cloud future is the absolute top priority for the tech giants.
Your personal data security has become a multi-billion-dollar cross-platform industry all on its own.
Then we saw Intel completely shaking up the hardware market, bringing elite, high-end computing power and massive multitasking capabilities down to everyday consumer price points of $200 and $300.
They are making it cheaper and more accessible than ever to build a truly powerful, future-proofed machine for your home or office.
And finally, TikTok and Apple Music are fundamentally changing how we discover and share the soundtrack of our lives.
By entirely removing the friction between a viral 15-second clip and a full-length communal listening experience, they are reshaping the economics of the music industry.
It really makes you step back and look at the invisible web connecting all of this.
Think about how perfectly stitched together our digital lives are becoming.
You might be sitting at your home desk using one of these blazing fast new Intel processors to access your company's database,
Which is safely secured on Google's AI-defended cloud infrastructure.
all while the social algorithms are instantly serving up your favorite Apple Music tracks directly inside your TikTok feed without you ever switching apps.
It is a remarkably seamless ecosystem.
But it leaves you with a thought to mull over as you go about your Wednesday.
Where exactly do we draw the line between these massive tech ecosystems anymore?
When your physical desktop processor, your cloud security provider, your social media network, and your music streaming service are all actively communicating, collaborating, and translating data for each other in real time, do those boundaries even exist?
Or are we already living inside one single giant interconnected machine?
It is definitely something to think about the next time you tap play on your feed. We're here to help at Snarful, so reach out on our website if you have any more questions.
That's a wrap on today's top stories. Remember, tech doesn't have to be complicated, and we're here to help connect the dots. If you've got questions or want to learn more, visit us at snarful.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.